The following game has no ESRB rating, nor is there any sort of restrictive content warning or any sort of warning as to what may be in the game. From what I have played so far, it doesn't seem to have anything worrisome in terms of age-restrictive content. So if I were to guess, if it were to have an ESRB rating, I would say most likely it would be rated E for everyone. So, following that guess, and having never completed the game, I can't say exactly the whole of it, just from my experience. But I would say that anyone under the age of 6 should not be watching this video. You have been warned.
Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Autonauts. So the premise of Autonauts is that you are a builder, manager, explorer for your people who has been sent to an alien world in order to build a colony for your people to settle. And while you can harvest every tree, grow every last bit of fruit and vegetable to feed your people, and maintain housing and build tools and manage resources directly, you don't actually have to. And that the main aspect of this game is that you can build an entire army of programmable robots to do all of the menial and repetitive work for you. In fact, given how in-depth and detailed this game has surprisingly become, you're going to need robots. In fact, you're going to need more robots, and they're going to need to be more advanced robots than anything that you've had for your previous steps. Just for an example, for those who haven't seen last episode, I spent most of it basically moving my entire grain field from where it was to where it now is. And while that task itself really wasn't too complex, it's just basically building and reprogramming robots to do the exact same tasks the old robots were, the new field incorporated a new aspect in the fact that I'm trying to irrigate every crop before it gets harvested. But that requires harvesting water, which requires a place to store said water, and because of how I've developed the colony, I need a central storage location for said water, from where it goes to the various lakes that I start collecting it from, and then out to where it needs to go for the fields and any other purposes. Then I need somebody else to take it from the field storage and actually water the field, and since unlike any of the solid resources that I've had the pleasure of dealing with so far, water requires to be in a bucket, and robots can only carry one bucket at a time, so to speed things up, I need multiple robots hauling water. So in addition to the 3 storages that I had to create and the 3 robot... well, 4 robots that I need to actually get this one additional aspect for my grain production, I need extra robots to basically speed up the process. So what became 3 storages and 4 robots has quickly become what, like 10 robots, and I need to add more. On top of that, somebody needs to make the buckets, so that's like a good 13 extra robots, possibly even 14 extra robots, 3 extra storages, just to augment one field to get 1 extra unit of grain per harvest. I can only imagine what the next industry I have to build is going to be like. Don't get me started on the cotton. Cotton. I mean, eventually I am going to have to start making cotton. Best as I can guess, near as I can tell, the next stage of evolution, which, as far as I know, is probably the main end goal for the game, would probably be clothing, because they already have, the colonists that I have already have food, they already have shelter, and the next major necessity is clothing. And once food, shelter, and clothing is taken care of, God knows what else is next. But I guess I'll find out eventually. And as stated, this game is of course made by... thank you again. And that being said, let us begin.
Alright, so here we are at the colony. So as you can see, this is the pumpkin field, and for some reason they've stopped... I would say they've stopped harvesting pumpkins, but that's mostly because they're out of pumpkin seeds to plant new ones. Pumpkin storage isn't filled. Why aren't they harvesting pumpkins? Did the guy harvesting pumpkins run out of power? I mean, quite possibly. There's like a whole pile of robots just unpowered and not working right by site storage. I'll have to look into that. Berry production is, well... I mean, it's berry production. If there's one thing I can always count on having more than enough of, it's probably berries. Mushrooms... I mean, mushroom field is actually filled. Apples is at capacity. This is the grain field that I'm talking about, and they are in the process of finalizing planting. I haven't actually finished the grain field fully. In fact, I also haven't turned off the old grain field. I should probably do that. And also rewind you. I have a feeling he's, well, filling in what used to be this field. Alright, so that's where it stands right now. Let me just power all these guys back on. This is what passes for the actual colony, and they're out of food. Because stuff just isn't getting to where it needs to go. I like how the more stuff that I have, the less stuff that seems to get done. I mean, that's not a problem with this game. It seems like every building and management game I ever do. You know, the more complex things go and the more stuff that I have to keep track of and worry about, the less stuff that actually gets done. Like, for instance, I'm fairly certain all of my colonists are technically starving because they can't get enough food because they ate it all, because production slowed down on account of my moving my fields, which are now farther away, which means that the logisticians are taking forever to get from point A to point B, which means supply chain issues. Also, the bot hauling the logs to repair. Why is there like a whole pile of sticks just sitting here? Weird. Anyway. Like, why is there just a whole pile of whatever just wherever? Alright, so I have supply issues. I always have supply issues. One of the major issues that I probably need to worry about is the fact that while the entire field of grain is now planted, the new field anyway, and they're still working on the old field of grain,
I don't actually have a use for grain. So, you know, once seed storage maxes out, yet again, I'll have no need for seeds. And the main reason why I haven't upgraded their buildings from the log shelters that they've got to the next level of housing, because the next level of housing requires straw, and you get straw from harvesting the cereal crops. But since the cereal crop programming is tied to whether or not this is maxed out, once this maxes out, they'll stop harvesting the cereal crop, which means they'll stop acquiring straw. So to avoid that supply chain issue, I need to figure out a means of having them produce more, actually use the cereal crops, well, cereal seeds I should say, which is what I'm thinking this small silo was. Might be why I had those poles sitting around. Anyway, so let's go build this. Let's actually rewind you. Alright, so now that the small silo is built, I'm going to need to build a bot to build more because these things stack pretty high. And I'm going to need more bots because I always need more bots. I'm going to need battery upgrades as well. And at least one speed upgrade. Let's plug you in here. Grab one of these. Plug this in here. Dustly. Alright, so this is what I want you to do. You're going to come over here. You're going to do this until your hands are full. You're going to come over to this storage and drop it off. Alright, so it looks like that they've pretty much just reclaimed all of these fields. Alright, and you're going to do this until your hands are empty. I'm going to do all of this until question mark is filled, question mark being cereal seed storage 4, and you're going to do all of that forever. Now go. So why does this square look slightly discolored from the others? Oh, it's a hole. Come on. Just fill that back in. And then that guy has a spare thing of turf you can use. Alright, and now that field is completely reclaimed. So next thing I have to do is go to the farmer's bob. Alright, so you're scything the... No, you're tilling the soil. You're threshing the cereal crops. You're collecting the straw. Also threshing. You're harvesting the cereal crops. You're tilling the soil. You're the recharging bot. You're another recharging bot. You're also tilling the soil. Alright, so Mark 1-17 is replanting the cereal crops here. So I'm going to have you stop. As well as, I would say one Mark 18, but he ran out of power. going to have you stop. Drop everything. And drop everything. Alright, so I was gonna worry use Mark 1 bots to replant this field. But now that hopefully they aren't being replanted, as the cereal crops grow and get harvested and all that stuff, they will... Yeah, anyway. As I was saying, they will eventually just scythe down this entire field, and once it becomes fallow, then, well, I'll figure out what I want to do next. Alright, so as they're hauling seeds now, there's extra storage, so this should take forever to actually be filled. So let me continue on with irrigation. So, how many logicians are hauling water? So you're taking from there to freshwater storage 4, which is this barrel? No, that's empty. This barrel. So you're hauling it from lake to central storage. You're hauling it from central storage to field storage. Alright, so I got 134 and... oh. 133 is moving it from lake to central. 134 is moving it from central to field. 137 is moving it from lake to central. Also lake to central, 138. 139 is moving it from field to central. And then, central to field I should say. Then 140 is moving it from central to field as well. So I have 3 logicians taking it from central part, from lake storage to central storage, and central storage to field storage. However, I only have 1 bot gathering the water, and 1 bot irrigating the field, and that is partially what's slowing everything down. So let me build another bot. I realize that I have enough parts just lying around for 3 more bots, but if I'm being woefully honest, I plan on getting 4 to do this. Wrong button. Let me grab an extra battery. Alright. Stop for a minute. I'm going to need a bucket. Right, there you are. This is what I want you to do. You're going to come over here. I'm going to gather fresh water. In this lake area. And then you're going to drop it off here. I'm going to do this until hands empty. At which point you're going to come over here and grab a new bucket. Said you're going to come over here and grab a new bucket. You're going to do this until question mark is filled. Question mark being lake water storage. You're going to do that forever. Now go. Alright, stop. That's question mark empty, not hands empty. Till hands empty. Now go. Alright, so why is it slightly discolored? Weird. Anyway, so his search area is actually slightly smaller than the other one. Just change this real quick. Just for fun. Yeah, okay. Then I'll have the next button do the same. Alright, so hopefully there should now be 3 water gatherers. Someone's not collecting this stuff. Alright. Alright, so hopefully these... Okay, you don't have a bucket, do you? So why are there only 2 over there? It's okay for changing his program mid-run. God damn it, grab a damn bucket. He's got a bucket. Alright, so the bucket was actually filled with fresh water. Which is why he was having issues with this program, because he had a full bucket of water. It was telling him to go find the water first. Alright, so now I should have 3 people gathering water. Put the buckets back. So that means that there should be a steady water supply, so those taking it to central storage don't have to wait anymore. Which means central storage should get filled faster. So those taking it to the lake, from central storage to the... I'm going to need more bots to take it from central storage to field storage, because that's completely empty, aren't I? So you know what? I'm going to need a bucket. I'm going to need several buckets. I keep having problems with buckets. And there's actually a bucket there, so I don't actually need a bucket. Anyway. My plan from the other two bots was to basically have them take it from the field storage to water the actual crops. But if I'm going to have a supply issue with the water, getting it from central storage to crop storage, it's probably best if I have more, what's the word I want to think of, people taking it from central to field. Because it'd probably be helpful if I actually bothered to recharge the bots hauling the water. And since he's still recording, gotta get rid of all of that. Just make certain he grabs a new bucket. Yeah, I don't think I want him to stop when something gets filled. He's going to... Actually, you know what? I do want him to stop when something gets filled. When the location he's going to fill is filled with water. And do that forever. I'll go. And I forgot to give him a speed upgrade, so... Drop the bucket. Take the shoe. Stop for a quick second. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Where'd the shoe go? Grab the shoe. Come over here. Let's be better at this game. That's what I get for only playing it like once every other month. Now go. And have this bot basically do the same. Don't forget, 144 is also a logician. Keep thinking that button will actually show me where my character is. Yeah, here I am. Alright, so now I should have 5 bots hauling water from central to the field. I mean, now there is a small surplus occurring, as, you know, the water keeps water in the field, but let's get a 6 spot on it. And you guys are completely out of power. Means I'm going to need a recharging bot. Drop the bucket.
See, now field storage is completely out. Alright, so hopefully, now that I have 6 bots hauling water from central field, the field storage will actually get filled to the point where he doesn't have the bot hauling the water doesn't have to stop hauling water because he's out of water to haul. Right, and the water gatherers are completely out of power, so I'm going to need recharging bots. I use the variant so that way I can tell them apart. Because the recharging bots eventually do run out of power. So I can easily, and so the variant versions allow me to easily distinguish who's the recharger and who isn't. So that should cover the storage, the entire search area for the water, guys gathering the water, and all that fun stuff. So, do this forever. Now go. And I'm going to have you stop real quick, so that way I can train the other one. There we are. Alright, wrong bot. Well, technically I can just train them on this guy, on these areas. This area. Because while I have a recharging bot for every industry and protection area, it's the spaces between the spaces that I have no coverage. Yeah, I think that's about the same. Alright, and so now this field is completely empty. Can I just simply cover it with turf? Or do I have to remove the tilling as well? No, I can just simply pile, I'm gonna dig it back up. Is it still gonna be tilled? No. It's not, and he's gonna go back and retill it. Okay. I can work with that. I need a farmer's bob. Just get the one hole in straw. So you're gonna come over here. You're going to find the nearest dug bit of turf. In this area, I don't really care where which stack you take it from. But you're going to do that until your hands are full, and you're going to come over here. And you're just going to reclaim the field. Now go. Alright, and much like these areas, once the field gets fully reclaimed, I'm going to have a whole bunch of space to do... Well, to be fair, I'm not quite certain what I'm going to use it for yet, but I'll be able to use it for something. Possibly more logging, just to have like logging industries from here to here. Because this entire game seems to be powered by wood. Alright.
Need more people hauling the food. Got what? 1, 2, 3, 4 kinds of food. Especially when I got like more than enough berries to worry about. Alright, so this is what I want you to do. Since berries is closest here, you're going to come over here, going to grab a berry. You're going to do this until your hands are full. And then travel all the way over here and mushroom berry storage. Drop it off here. You're going to do this until your hands are empty. I'm going to do all of that until this storage is filled. I'm going to do that forever. Now go. And you're out of power. You know what? Hang on. Let me do something. Alright, so since this area seems to be a spot where a lot of bots just power down, let me build a recharger just to cover this area. Alright, so this area should be covered. I mean, they run out of power down in this line. The rechargers for this field should be able to recharge them, and I don't know if they run out of power here. I'll have to work on that once that happens, but it should help this area. And let's make you a logician, just simply because the main bots wandering through this area are going to be the logicians. Alright, and part of me for some strange reason thought I could build this bot and get it ready to go before the other recharger rewound everybody here. But there's still one here. So I'll just have you train on this one. Yeah, they look like they're covering the same area. They're not actually. Now they are. Okay. I mean, theoretically, I should probably have them over this way, just to cover this line. Alright, back to doing what I was doing. I actually ran out of crude gears, interesting. Okay, so that should help with the pumpkins. Need more charging bots for this area too, I guess. And then just need apples and mushrooms. And wouldn't you know it, I got a bot unpowered right here. Just outside of the new rechargers area. Not just outside, it's like a couple squares away. But still. On the plus side, one dude has pretty much the entire field irrigated, and they now have a slight surplus in water down there. Okay, that's cool. And then finally apples. One thing at a time. I was going through my unteamed bots. Or the bots that aren't on any particular team or grouping, and just trying to figure out which ones actually should be in a group, and then assigning them to said group. But I need to get this guy hauling apples first, otherwise I'm going to lose track of what I was doing, and not have him haul apples. I'm just going to sit there wondering why I built it. When bots start wondering why they exist, they start coming up with reasons, and those reasons may include taking over, which is one of the things I don't want them to do. Alright, so that should double up on all the logicians. Let me get one more bot to help irrigate the field. It may cause the water to run out, but no, I don't actually have anybody scything the cereal crop down or collecting anything, so it's only like a half-build industry. Now, this is what I want you to do. You're going to come over here, you're going to grab some water. So you have the water going to come to an unirrigated area, and you're going to irrigate it. Nearest cereal crop in this 15 by 15 area. I'm going to do this until hands empty, at which point you're going to come over here and grab a new bucket. I'm going to do all of this, well, forever actually. Now go. Add this guy to the farmer's bob. Alright, so, speaking of Farmer's Bob, I had... For the back half, I have... one bot scything the crop down, and then two bots, looks like, flailing the crops. And one guy, that's a recharging bot, that's a recharging bot. That's the second. I had 3 hoers? Guess I had 3 hoers. And they had 2 replanters.
Transmitter chargers. Alright, so you're moving it from serial storage 1 to 2, so you're actually a logician. And they actually managed to max that one out, so we'll need to increase that storage capacity. And you're planting the cereal, so you get to be part of Farmer's Bob. Planters did I have? Air cannery charger. Alright, so you collected the seeds. So I had one planter and one collector of seeds. So I'm going to need 4 more bots. One to scythe the cereal crop down, 2 to thresh all the cereal crops. One to pick up the seeds and put them in storage. Another, actually I'm going to need 5. Because, like I said, 1 to scythe it down, 2 to flail, 1 to collect the seeds. I already have the replanter, but cereal crops also produce straw. So I'm going to need someone to collect the straw. But let's get, well, what I can up and running first. Alright, it's rewind and then whistle. Alright, I'm going to need my scythe, wherever I put it. Just drop the bucket right there. I'm also going to need another scythe. Get to that one. Alright, this is what I want you to do. You're going to come over here and you're going to... And they finished irrigating the whole field. You would think the rain would also irrigate the field, but no. No, it doesn't. So you're going to do that. I'm going to... The cereal's so tall it's hard to see where exactly the field is. I'm going to do this until hand's empty, at which point you're going to come over here and grab a new scythe. And so then once you have the scythe, I'm going to do all of that until question mark filled, question mark being, well, cereal storage. I'm going to do all of that forever. Now go. So I don't think I need 2 people scything things down. What I am however going to need are the threshers. Waiting for him to go and pick up the bot part when in fact he already has the bot part. Alright, so flail.
I guess it's one way to drop the flail. The scythe. Alright, so you're gonna come over here and okay. So anyway, you're going to find the nearest cereal, you're going to beat the nearest cereal to death, until you break your flail, in which point you come over here and grab a new flail. We do all of this until hands... No, not until hands empty, until question mark is filled. Question mark being... Actually, do I need this step? I mean, if the Scyther's going to stop once cereal storage is filled, then there wouldn't be anything to thresh. So I'm just gonna have you do that forever. I'll go. Right, and you're basically going to do the exact same thing. Alright. And you are going to be the last link in the chain, technically, arguably. Your job is to collect the cereal seed. Collect the cereal seeds. Going to do this until hands full, at which point you're going to drop them off here. So you know what? I want the gather to have it be 17 by 17, not 15 by 15. Gatherers always are check this space surrounding the field. And we're going to do that until hands empty. I'm going to do all of this. Do we want to flag them until this is filled? Probably not, no. Just so that way you can keep handling the open. And, now go. Alright, and so he goes and collects all the seeds. Well, given how much wheat they're producing, cereals they're producing, and the guy scything down bakes, I should probably have 2 seed collectors. I like how they collected all the seeds and straw, but I think they waited down here. But I think I waited so long that they actually despawned. Which should tell you something about my operation. Meantime, rewind you. Do I not have recharging by covering this area? Or down here? I mean, I know I don't have one down here. It's outside of everywhere. Where are you even going? Oh. Pumpkin seed storage. Got it. Right, and so you are going to collect the straw.
Now, I will flag him to stop once straw storage is filled. And then do that forever. Now go. And since straw storage is technically already filled, he has nothing to do. Alright, so these guys get added to Farmer's Bob. Alright, so I mean, clearly some food is being delivered, just I guess not almost fast enough. I mean, they're able to make the food, but the caretaking group is using the food as fast as it's being produced. So I may need more logicians to haul food. I may also need more rechargers to cover the spaces in the recharging network, so that way they don't stop like right here, like that guy, in their process, bogging everything down. But on the plus side, the wheat industry, at least the new one, should now be done, because now I have somebody tilling the soil, another one planting the cereal seeds, another one irrigating it, technically two irrigating it. And once it's fully grown, somebody's scything down the fully grown cereal, and then two other somebodies are threshing the cereal. And, are they harvesting the cereal before it gets irrigated? But anyway. And then, somebody's collecting the seeds, to be dumped in the same storage that the guy is pulling them from, and, replanting. Also, somebody would be collecting the straw if I had some usage for it, so that way straw storage wouldn't be filled. I'm thinking just create another central storage. So basically, just move one of these guys over here, which is why I have Build-A-Bots build extra constantly, and then just have a logician take the straw from field storage to what will eventually be central storage. And then once that's done, I can finally get about my plan of actually using the cereal crops, as well as building a larger silo, because this is practically maxed out. And then once that's all done, I can get on something more important. No, that's still a running joke. I keep saying that I'm going to get to it, and I never do. Even have fields prepared for them. Well, sort of, kinda-ish, almost. But after that, then I should probably look into clothing people. Maybe, eventually, hopefully, get around to getting to the next stage of evolution. I mean, I should also technically upgrade their housing, which would use the straw that I'm not collecting because I have no use for the straw. Heck, I might even get more colonists, because 10 just isn't enough. More than enough. I have problems keeping all these guys fed now. Also, I need to upgrade the laboratory, so that way they can keep researching things, and which is fueled by the WUV that is generated by the colonists being happy. And they are happy when they have shelter and food, and eventually I'm assuming clothes. But all of that's going to be another issue for another day, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.